Welcome to the Amplify podcast. Thank you for hopping on. I'm Andy Jenkins, and I'm going to lead you today through just a mini series, a 1, 2, 3 punch, a talk about how to create your framework. Now, this is all part of that thing that we discuss so often on Amplify. We really want to help you multiply and monetize your message so that you can get paid for what you know while making a bigger impact. We talk to people all the time who have great ideas, have a lot of information, and when we roll into this conversation about the framework, I'm going to really emphasize today that it's not just the information that you have, which is so valuable. It's incredible, but you've got to take that information one step farther and really tell people how to apply that information, how to lead them on a journey of transformation, how to help them overcome the problem they have, move to the potential to where you take them. And building the framework really is the way that you articulate a specific path forward that has unique progress points, that avoids the pits and pitfalls and everything else that we get caught up into. And don't worry if you can't remember all of that. We're going to highlight it and hit it hard for, again, this is part one of a 1, 2, 3 punch on how do you build a framework so that you can get paid for what you know. Again, as always, be sure to check the show notes. I've got some links to some items down there that I really believe will be of interest to you. They will help you take a next best step from here if this teaching really resonates with you. Here's the training. All right, let's get started here. We've got a little bit of work to do on how do you create a framework. Now, here's the tip. You need to articulate your message so that it creates transformation in the lives of your audience, not just gives them information. Now, so many people out there have a great message, they want to share it. And when it comes down to the end of it, because it's not organized in a step by step by step, linked up way, they end up just sharing facts and figures and data and not necessarily taking people on a journey. What we want to do is articulate sometimes that same information. It's not like you need new facts and figures. It's just we want to articulate it in a framework that helps people move forward. Now, just another maybe footnote here. This is articulating your framework or architecting your framework. Either way, that is the first step in that ABCD process that we teach, literally ABCD of how to monetize your message, get paid for what you know, which is going to be the subject of another module that you can drop in on. So the result of this training, here's what you're going to be able to do. You're going to be able to craft the message that you already have. So you've got it. You just need to repurpose it into a process that people can follow, a step by step by step process. We're going to show you how to do that. This is going to enable you, second of all, right there, to lead people from where they are to where they want to be, to where they're designed to be, to where they've dreamed of being. And I'm going to number these right here on the slide so that you see those in real time. And then 3, I want to just remind you, this works for every industry. A lot of times, people that we speak with, that we train, that we talk with, they assume, and I've done this, I'm guilty of this, that their content or their lane or their message is so unique or their industry is so different that what they're teaching won't work with the systems and processes. Like somehow we all feel like we are the exception to the rule. And that's just not the case. What I want to show you is that this works for every industry. In fact, it's a necessity for every industry. So let's outline the module. Here it is. The outline of everything we're going to walk through is we're going to define what a framework is. That's number 1. Number 2, we're going to show you 4 elements that are required in every framework. So what is a framework and then what are the 4 elements? Number 3, I'm going to give you an additional 5th thing to consider when you build out that framework. I've almost included it as 5 necessary parts of the framework, but I really kind of think this is kind of the bonus. Number 4, we're going to talk about 2 kinds of frameworks. So there are 2 unique ways you can go with this, and I'll give you some examples of each so that you can see it and to figure out what works best for your messaging. And then number 5, we're going to talk about the common threads of all frameworks, regardless of which of those 2 kinds that you do. All right, so let's go through it. Number 1, defining a framework. And by the way, if you are watching this in Amplify Pro, there are timestamps down below. And so when you're watching this, you're probably going to feel like it is drinking from a fire hydrant. That's in part going to be the reality the first few times you walk through it. And that's okay. If you need to go back and review, just go back to the parts that are most relevant to you, whether you're watching or listening, and you can do that with the timestamp. So right here, timestamp, this one, defining a framework. Here's what it is. As opposed to simply spouting out information, you want to take people on a journey. You want to take people on an intentional trip that is targeted, meaning you have a clear goal of where you are taking those people. It is transformative, meaning it creates real change in their lives, and it is teaching. It does impart wisdom and information to them. Now, as content creators, people that speak, that coach, that write, that share life-changing messages, so often we just major on this bottom one. We just give them facts, figures, data. I remember in my early days, one of the places that I got started speaking was working in a church. And it seems like, looking back in the rearview mirror, my goal every Sunday evening when I was teaching in this warehouse in the middle of downtown that had been slightly renovated, but still looked very much like a warehouse, a bunch of 20-somethings and some 30-somethings. It seems like I was just doing this third part, teaching, giving people information. But what I did not do a good job of then was having a targeted goal somewhere I'm going to take them on a journey. I don't want to just give you facts. I want to give you facts and figures that are going to lead you there to that goal. That's the outcome. And in the process of getting to that outcome, there's going to be a transformation that occurs in your life. Now, that's not only true if you're teaching the Bible. That's true if you're teaching people how to homeschool. That's true if you're teaching people how to renovate houses. That's true if you're teaching people how to build a business. That's true if you're teaching people how to integrate their faith into their daily life at work or wherever they are. That's true if you're coaching pastors and leaders and others how to start nonprofits and build those in a healthy way. That's true if you're teaching people, as we're doing right here, how to multiply and monetize their message, build on a platform so they can get paid for what they know and either build an income for themselves or reinvest that to keep the message going forward. Okay, so this is true for all of us. Now, let me give you a note right here. Several times throughout the training, I tend to do this, and it's just so you can start going, well, I think I've heard something like this before. I think there might be something that's helpful right there. There is a training on the 3 force multipliers, and it is all about these elements right here. It's about serving, it's about systems, it's about scalability. And so as you're thinking through this framework training that we're in right now, what is a framework? How does the framework work? I would just say, hey, as some of this starts making sense, start considering going to that training because you might hit a stuck point at some part of this. And if you're hitting a stuck point when you're implementing this and platforming it so you can get paid for it, that training will help you move that forward and get that message out to other people. All right, so here's the definition of framework. Here's the official one. Although I kind of think you're getting the idea so far. Framework, a coaching content framework. It is really an information system to help move people and their progress forward. A framework includes several things. What does it include? It includes a clear potential. Where are you taking them? That's the destination. It includes a clear problem that they are facing. You're going to help them solve it. It includes a path to move upon, and it has definite progress points along that path. Now, we're going to illustrate all of this. I got a graphic that I'm going to show you in a little bit. Here's a pro tip about all of this. Once you create the framework, you can implement your framework in all of your content. One of the big things we talk about at Amplify is you most of the time don't need new information. A lot of content creators, I'm notorious for this. I've got books and coaching modules and courses that are just sitting on the shelf and they're not helping anybody. So what would be better is if I could repurpose those and get those out to other people. You don't need new information, and it doesn't need to be overwhelming. What you need to do is dial in the message that you have, get really good at teaching it, and then implement it in all of your content, all of your content, all of your content. It can be, the framework can be the thing you're most known for. That means you can thread it throughout your content, meaning books, courses. You can thread it throughout your coaching, whether it's a group, whether it's a mastermind, whether it's a one-to-one consulting opportunity. You can thread it throughout keynote speeches you give, through podcasts, through other opportunities that you have to interact with people. Once you have dialed in the framework that we're going to show you how to do in this training, you can use that and should use that everywhere. Now, let me show you a difference here and what that means. This is kind of another footnote. A lot of times we talk about courses. Courses and books and other forms of content that you can give people, and you don't necessarily need to be present to them for them to access. Like this training right here. I'm kind of present to you, but not really. This is automated. So courses are automated, books are automated, podcasts are automated. Anytime something's recorded and people can just access it, what they're getting is information. That's facts, figures, things that people know, ideas. They're getting insight. So they're getting that from a unique vantage point or perspective of you, the expert, the teacher. They're also ideally getting application. What do they do in light of what they now know from your vantage point about this information? Now, your framework can be dropped into all of that. It is information, it is insight, it is application. When we move to coaching, whether that's group coaching, whether that is one-to-one, whether that's a mastermind, so that's a smaller group, or whether it's some other form of coaching that you might do, we're really going into context, which is applying the framework, there's our word, to unique circumstances of that particular person and how they're encountering the problem that you solve, how you're leading them specifically to their potential. So not just in the generic sense, I mean, this gets personal. And then it adds an element of accountability because you're walking with them and they have personal access to you. So we add those elements to this. Now, right now, if you're just watching this or you're listening, you really, I mean, that number 6 right there, you don't really have a lot of access to me in this moment. You're just consuming content. But it's the same framework. So here's the point. Once you've dialed in the framework, you can teach the same framework. And I'm teaching the framework of how to build a framework so you can get paid for what you know. Now, I can teach you that through an automated system like a book. I could teach you that through a podcast. I could teach you that through a group coaching. I could teach you that one-to-one. Could even do contract work for you. Okay, so there's the point. Once you've got it, you can keep working on it and dialing it in and use that across all forms of media that you have, all types of offers. You might want to think about it in terms of the product ladder. This is a graphic we use in a lot of our training. at the top of the product ladder, you have people that are paying you more money for a higher ticket offer, which is technically deeper in the funnel. So you're serving fewer people at the greatest level possible. You can't do one-to-one training with everybody. You can't even do 5-to-1 with everyone. You can't do contract work for everyone. There's just not enough time and mental focus and energy and every other element that goes into it. Notice that the low ticket offers there, that's higher in the funnel. So books, mini courses, other more substantial courses. Right here's where you serve the most people at a surface level as they scale that product ladder. As they go up, they're paying more, incrementally more. So at the bottom, they may be paying like $10. At the top, they may be paying, let's just make up a number, $1,000. In the middle, it might be 100, and then 250, and then 500. What you see is that most people aren't going to immediately jump up the entire ladder. Most people aren't going to walk up to you and say, oh, hey, you know what? I want you to coach me, and I'm going to pay you, again, making up a number, $1,000 a month to do this. What they will do is they'll buy your book for 10 or 20 bucks. And then they might go, huh, that's interesting. I'm going to access the $50 mini course. Oh man, that was good. I might get into the group coaching opportunity they have. Oh, geez, I'm getting results there. Now I'm going to go up to the coaching one-to-one consulting opportunity. So again, you're going to have people that come in. Lightning does sometimes strike things, people will come in and go, oh, I want to do it all. But most of the time, people are going to take that journey step by step by step. If you have the same framework and they can access that same type training, but just get greater access to you, and they're moving from this information basis only all the way up to access as they go up that ladder, it really will benefit you and them long term. Now, a module to review right here is where we talk about designing your funnel. That is available for you. If you're a member of Amplify Pro, you have access to that right now. And you'll see a graphic like this where we really encourage you to build out that funnel and talk through. And again, you might not have all these offers, but it does help you to go, all right, if I'm going to teach my same framework everywhere, the same thing that I'm crafting in this module, and I realized, like, we're 15 minutes in, I haven't even showed you how to build this thing out. But I think it's important to grasp, once you've got that framework created, once you have your core message, you're going to repurpose that on a blog. You're going to talk about that. Look on the left side on your podcast, social media. Those are all free forms of content. You're going to have an opt-in. That's a free lead magnet where you collect their email address or even their text, and you can start communicating with them. You're going to lead them through your website to where they buy a low ticket offer, such as a book. You lead them maybe even on an upsell to a course. You might have a membership program. You might have some coaching or consulting or other things, keynote speeches, masterminds. It's all the same core content wherever you teach it. And just another graphic of the funnel from overhead. Here, you notice from overhead, just kind of look at it like a target, where your goal is to get people all the way into that core on the outside, a little bit of money, a little bit of access to you on the inside of that target, a lot more money, a whole lot more access to you. But wherever they are, it's the same target. It's the same whole. It is the same framework. So the difference in all of this, in where you share the framework, is that deeper in the funnel. So deeper in this right here on the screen, closer to the bullseye in this target. When we look at the funnel from overhead, deeper in the funnel, there is going to be a higher cost. There's going to be increased access to you because they're paying for your time, and there are going to be fewer people there. Okay, so the opposite of that is true too. That means that higher in the funnel, there's going to be a lower cost, less access, a whole lot more people. And that is where we really suggest you dive into this designing your funnel. Okay, so that is defining the framework. Point number one, defining the framework. It is taking people on that journey of transformation, targeting with a result, and it is the core message that you teach across all of your content. It is the thing that you're known for. It's not the only thing that you can teach, but it is the thing that you're known for. Just like McDonald's, if they had a framework, it would be hamburgers. Now I know they do fries and they do milkshakes and they do coffee and they do pancakes and they do chicken nuggets. But you think of McDonald's, you don't think of all that. You think of Big Macs and cheeseburgers. Same thing for you. What are you known by? All right, number two, when you create this framework, so now we're kind of getting into nuts, bolts, nitty gritty, it needs to include each of the following four components. These are four must-haves for a framework. If you don't have these four, you don't have a framework. Now, you might have the inklings of one, and you might have every bit of content that you need. In fact, if you're listening or watching this, you probably do have all the content that you need. You just need to articulate that content in the, let's just say, the framework of a framework. You need to spell it out in this way so that it takes people on a journey of transformation. Okay, note. Again, the what you're known for framework is not the only thing that you can teach or coach, that kind of thing, but it is the core thing that you are known for, especially in the beginning. Okay, let me give you an example. Amplify helps you platform your message so that you can get paid for what you know. That's really what we're trying to do here. But did you also know I can show you how to write a book? I can show you how to write grants. We can show you how to do social media and schedule it up. We can show you how to batch your content. We can, okay, you can get into the weeds of all that stuff. But the core thing is platform your message, get paid for what you know. So you two, you're gonna have to like dial in and go, what is the thing? And when you get it, it's gonna have four components. You got to have all four. All right, number one of four, potential. The potential is the destination. It is a clearly defined place that you are going to take people. You need to articulate what is the end goal. Where do people want to be? Because you're not just teaching information, you are facilitating transformation. So where are you going to take them? You're going to help them lose weight. You're going to help them be stronger. Or you're going to help them move forward in some other area of life. I'll give you some examples in a minute. Again, the tip is you're not just sharing information. Now, it includes information. Information's not bad. You got to have information. But you want to craft that information in such a way that you lead people towards a transformation. Okay, so here are these are just some ideas to get you started. I'm going to talk through them and then give you an example of each, but this would not be the exclusive example. All right, let's see if that makes sense. Okay, so you might be leading them to an elusive result or a goal. Something they have not been able to achieve that they want to, meaning they want to lose weight. You might be leading them to a new skill. That might be the potential, such as playing a guitar or learning how to shoot photography, with, for instance, a clear foreground and a fuzzy background, or how to do wedding photography, or how to do nature photography, or something. It's a new skill that you're teaching them to learn. It might be, third one here on the list, an internal transformation. Mental or emotional healing and health. So overcoming the hurts of the past, stepping into their new living fully present without getting emotionally triggered. It might be a perspective to live differently. An example here might be, how do you move forward after death, losing a spouse, a loved one, or even losing a child? How do you step forward from that? Or how do you move forward after divorce? So somebody's in a new place in life and they're kind of like, oh, things have radically changed. You might teach them how to create a new normal here. Fifth example, new habits, a new way of living. This might be time management, money management, or budgeting. And again, these are just examples to where you could start going, okay, I've got this content, I've got the content. What is the end goal? What does it look like? What does it look like in my world? Or it could be increased knowledge and accelerating the learning curve. Now, on this one, again, you need to be really careful because you're not just giving them facts, figures, data, information. You're going to give them information that has a specific outcome because they are going to sidestep all of the mistakes you made, and they're going to build upon the knowledge base that you have so they can just do this stuff. And which is consequently where most of the Amplify resources fall. Again, so you are showing them where you're going to take them. You are giving them the destination. Think about it like buying a plane ticket. People don't just buy a ticket to an airplane and a seat. You buy a ticket that's going somewhere. So what you are selling really as the communicator, as the content creator, is not the seat on the plane. You are selling the destination where that seat on the plane goes. And too many content creators, and I've done this so long, they describe the plane, they talk about the seat, they talk about the seat belt, they talk about the snacks and the amenities that are on the plane. Those are all great. However, they don't really make sense apart from the destination, the potential. So make sure that you highlight what is the potential to which you lead people. That's part one, facet number one, necessary item number one in the framework. Number two, the problem that you solve. There's an issue that you solve, something you help them resolve. It is the thing keeping them back from their potential. Here it is illustrated on the screen. It is that gap between where they are, where they're designed to be, where they've dreamed of being, where they're destined to be, where they are determined to be. Pro tip, just cement this one in your head. People do not primarily purchase products and programs. And I say primarily because, I mean, we all kind of do. There's lots of gray space here. People primarily purchase solutions to their problems. So they don't just want a product. They don't just want a program. What they want is a solution to they don't just want a seat on the plane. They want a seat on the plane that takes them somewhere different than where they are currently. There are really three broad ways that we can help you. Number one is some people come to us and they say, what I need is really just content or information. Whether it comes in the form of a book or a mini course or a full-blown masterclass, mega type course with downloads and worksheets and all of those. So a little bit of information or a lot of information, we can help you in that lane. That means you're really wanting to publish a book or create a course or amplify your message or learn about the systems and processes that we use, understand how the publishing game, the messaging, dialing in your message works, but you really think, hey, if I have the information, I can do it. And so if we can serve you in that level and you just need the content, that's something that we can do. If you are in a second group of people, some people say, well, I really prefer coaching and interaction. I want somebody to walk with me through the process. Now, when we do that, coaching, we always provide you with information and content, but we start a different sort of relationship to where we interact, whether that's a group coaching community that's larger and open to a lot of people, or whether it's a more unique small group mastermind or even one-to-one coaching, we can serve you at that level, and we can give you the content and walk with you. And then there's a third group of people that say, hey, I don't necessarily just need the information or the coaching and the interaction. I actually want to engage you to implement this for me. I want to talk about contracting you, whether it's to ghostwrite my book, or it's to advise on a situation, or it's to help me build out a scenario or a framework, or whatever it is that you might feel like you need. We can help you in that lane as well. So whether it's, again, just to repeat, number one, content and information, we can do that. Or whether it's coaching and interaction, we can do that. Or that third level, really contract and implement the stuff for you. Turnkey, done for you projects, we can do that as well. Here's the best place to go. Best place is to go to the homepage of our website, and there's a button that says Start Here. And it'll take you to the bottom of the page where it just says which one of these best describes you. And so you just choose. I'm a business leader, or I'm an online marketer, or I'm new, or I'm a writer, I'm a speaker, I'm a nonprofit leader, I'm whatever it is that you are. Choose that, and then you just tell us on the next page, I prefer content and information, or I really want to talk to you about coaching and interaction, or I prefer contract, implement it, get it done for me. And whatever you decide there, it will take you to the next best step. Questions, comments, there's a button at the top that says Contact Us. We always reply, same business day. I'll talk to you soon.